Hello, my name is Claire Wiesis, and I'm here to talk about Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye. Specifically, I'd like to focus on the question of what exactly happened to Piccola's eyes at the end of the novel. At first, I wanted to believe that somehow Piccola's eyes had actually turned blue, whether it was through Soaphead Church's ritual or if Piccola somehow experienced a physical change as the result of Charlie's rape. I know that Toni Morrison has a relationship with magical realism, so this did not seem ridiculous to me. Upon further analysis, however, it became apparent to me that Piccola's blue eyes were imagined by her in Soaphead Church. My interpretation of the text here is now that Piccola was feeling broken after being raped by Charlie. She came to Soaphead Church hoping that he could work a miracle and make her eyes blue, because in her eyes, no pun intended, blue eyes would make her good, beautiful, and loved by those around her, and bad things like Charlie raping her would not happen again. For unknown reasons, Soaphead Church leads Piccola to believe that he can turn her eyes blue. He may have either believed that she'd dismissed the issue when her eyes did not turn blue, or was trying to maintain power over her in the short run. No matter why he told her this, Piccola believes that he turns her eyes blue. In her fragile mental state after being raped, Piccola seems to not be able to notice that her eyes are not blue. This does, however, give her the ability to somewhat process what's happened to her. In Piccola's mind, she is not aware of her rape or her pregnancy. She just packages it all in her mind as her eyes turning blue. I'd like to use this theory to help examine the line on page 156 of the Oprah's Book Club edition, when Piccola is talking to the mysterious voice about how Piccola doesn't go to school anymore, and Piccola says that she was made to leave. After that first day at school when I had my blue eyes. I take this to mean that Piccola returned to school after being raped, the first day after everyone found out what happened to her, and she was made to leave. It is possible that Piccola views her blue eyes as some sort of physical evidence of her rape. People can look at her blue eyes and know what happened to her. Piccola views blue eyes as the ultimate good in terms of physical appearance, so she is able to view the perceived evidence as her rape as a good thing and thusly continue to live her life. She is able to endure the stares and whispers of her classmates because she believes that they are the result of the ultimate good, blue eyes, instead of the ultimate evil, being raped by her father. Another interesting thing about this sentence is that it is a fragment. The surrounding sentences give us clues, but the actual sentence does not answer the question it seems to ask. The fragment lets us know that something happened that first day with her blue eyes, and the surrounding sentences tell us that Mrs. Breedlove came out to visit the school and that Piccola does not attend school anymore, but there seems to be something missing here. I believe that it is unlikely that Mrs. Breedlove is the one to pull Piccola out of school, because if Mrs. Breedlove wanted Piccola to stop going to school, she wouldn't have sent Piccola to school that day at all. But Piccola wouldn't have had a first day at school with blue eyes in the first place. I will never know whether on that day Piccola endured some sort of public ridicule, but it seems likely that after Piccola, the rape victim, returned to school, the students and or school administration decided that they did not want Piccola to walk among them anymore and called in Mrs. Breedlove to explain that Piccola was not allowed in school anymore. By leaving this implied instead of making it explicit, it adds a degree of separation between it and Piccola. It makes it so we know that Piccola does not understand why she does not attend school anymore. She also doesn't seem to understand what role her mother had in the whole ordeal. Piccola doesn't analyze any of this. She just dismisses it all as another effect of her beautiful blue eyes. This helps convey that Piccola understands everything that happens to her as a result of her blue eyes. The shunning of her by her community isn't a bad thing. It's just what happens when you have the most beautiful blue eyes in the world. This sentence really contributes to the idea of Piccola's madness. No person with complete mental faculties would interpret Piccola's shunning as a result of non-existent blue eyes, which shows how poor Piccola's mental state is. While I was in the process of writing my script for this video, I did some research on this text and came across a theory that somehow Piccola was blinded. This theory raises several additional questions. While it would easily explain why Piccola believes her eyes are blue, as she would only have Soaphead Church's testimony, it begs the question of how she got blinded. We know that Charlie didn't blind her, at least during his rape of her, because in that scene he seems to bizarrely want to treat her tenderly even during his extremely violent action. He even goes so far as to cover her with a blanket when he leaves. It could have also happened when Mrs. Breedlove was beating Pecola afterwards, or as a strange part of Soaphead Church's ritual. This theory would also make Pecola's mental state more confusing, since she describes her first day of school as blue eyes, not her first day of school as a blind person. Anyway, that's all food for thought that I'll leave you with. Thank you very much. I am Claire Wieses.